You are Locked On Red Sox POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, on a night where Rafael Devers was not in the starting lineup, the Red Sox able to find a victory. They're first on their current homestand. They pick up the win Tuesday night against the Toronto Blue Jays. Again, Jarren Duran helping lead the Sox offense. And the bullpen able to get the final 17 outs in relief of starter Cooper Criswell. We do welcome you into our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer, storyteller. Have done interviews with Theo, yes, that Theo Epstein, Buck O'Neill, the Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr., George Brett, Johnny Damon, Terry Francona, Jim Palmer, country music legend, Garth Brooks, Terry Cashman, Sharon Robinson, and then Senator from Massachusetts, John Kerry, and plenty and many, many more. We are providing reaction every Red Sox game on the latest Locked On Red Sox Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. On our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast, Jarren Duran got things going for the Sox early on. Duran, another home run, another extra base hit, and he just continues to lead this team almost day in and day out. Cooper Criswell made the start. The bullpen, after Criswell exited in the fourth inning, taking care of the rest, giving up a couple of home runs, but solo shots against the Blue Jays team that ran into 3 outs on the bases. We'll get into details on that as well. We do want to hear from you as well, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation, watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit the comment button, join the Sox conversation, and you can also hit me up on the X, formerly known as Twitter, at Lennox on Baseball with questions, comments, or concerns. Our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to get started. Again, the Sox pick up the victory, much needed, absolutely. Are they in must-win territory pretty much from here on out? Yes, they are. We will scoreboard watch, but we're not going to scoreboard watch again in our second segment coming up. But the Sox end a 4-game losing streak overall on Tuesday night. The Sox also avoid losing a 5th straight game for the first time this season. So 5 times this year, they've lost 4 in a row. They've never lost 5 straight at any point here in 2024. The 5-game home losing streak at Fenway Park, also a thing of the past for the Red Sox as well. Sox are now 1-4 on this current homestand. How did they get going? Well, Cooper Criswell on the mound and Jarren Duran. Sox with 3 runs in the first inning, 3 more runs in the 5th inning, and beat the Blue Jays by a score of 6-3. Toronto, just one of those teams, we've seen plenty of them lately. The Rangers, the Astros, the Diamondbacks. They're not out of games. One swing of the bat, they're down 2 or 3 runs. They get a couple of base runners on. One swing of the bat, they're right back in it. Blue Jays with a couple of solo home runs. We're going to get into cutting them down in just a moment. But again, the Red Sox, first inning, Jarren Duran leads off the game with a home run. 1-0 Sox. Needed it, right? Absolutely needed it. And they've gotten it from Jarren Duran all season long. Rodriguez giving up the home run. He went 5 innings, gave up 6 earned runs total. But the big at bat later in that first inning for the Red Sox, Masa Yoshida coming through and delivering with a little 2-out magic. Yoshida, his first and only hit of the ball game, knocking in a pair with a single, 3-0 at that point in time, and then the Red Sox adding on with a 3-run 5th inning. So we'll talk about that inning as well here in just a moment. But big innings where the Red Sox aren't scoring. Yes, you get the solo home run in the first inning, but you get a big 2-out single. You've got to start putting hits together in an inning on a more consistent basis. Did that a little bit on Tuesday night. A sign of things to come? We'll see. But in that 5th inning, Ceddanne Rafaela got things going. Leadoff double. Moved to third on a ground out by Duran. Productive out. Hamilton single. Then Hamilton a stolen base. He scores on the double by Tristan Casas. 5-1, and then Wilyer Abreu a single in the right field. That scored Tristan Casas. And the Red Sox at that point up 6-1. Bernardino gives up a home run. Kenley Jansen, pitching for the first time in a long time, gives up a home run to Varsho in the ninth inning. But overall, bullpen asked to get the final 17 outs, and they did just that. Now, the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays, when we got this going with our Locked On Red Sox postcast, we saw it, the series in Toronto. We even saw it in the series at Fenway Park in June, including the suspended game that did wrap up officially on Monday. I'm going to have a couple of thoughts on that one coming up as well. But in the very first inning, Cooper Criswell, 3 1/3, 5 hits, 3 walks, 1 run. He very well could have been knocked out in the second inning. He very well could have gone 3 1/3 and given up 3 or 4 runs. Blue Jays are going to Blue Jay on occasion. And Vlad Guerrero Jr., tremendous talent, but in the top of the first inning, Vlad Jr., hard hit ball. Duran, as Vladdy Jr. is trying to stretch a single into a double, cut down at second base. Duran, the outfield assist. Second inning, Loperfido thrown out of the plate. Duran to Ceddanne Rafaela, to Danny Jansen at the plate. Loperfido cut down, and the inning was over there. Fourth inning, Weissert on the hill. Springer at the plate. Clement at third. Fly ball down the right field line. Abreu approached the ball, got his feet set under him, fired to the plate. We know Wilyer Abreu has a terrific arm. Sometimes it's not the most accurate arm. But Vladdy cut down at second early on, and 2 runners cut down at the plate as well. And they kept going to former Red Sox third base coach Carlos Febles, who is now the third base coach for the Toronto Blue Jays. Got the beard, got a little gray going in there, a little white. It's not always on the third base coach. Now, they may say after the game, hey, Carlos Febles, guess what? It was on you tonight in 2 instances where we had a runner cut down at the plate. But Duran to Rafaela to the plate and Jansen applying the tag for the final out in that inning early on, that was beautiful. And then the Red Sox also turning a 6-4-3 double play. Ceddanne Rafaela doing a terrific job coming in on the ball, throwing almost across his body. He was almost in the baseline between second and third. Got the throw to second. 6-4-3, Rafaela, Hamilton, Casas. Beautifully turned double play. It's all I want the Red Sox to work on at spring training in Fort Myers, spring training 2025, turning 2, with all their defensive alignments on the infield. Able to turn 2 there. It's been plenty of opportunities where the Red Sox have come close to turning a double play. I mean, we're not just going back a week or two. We're going back weeks with the Red Sox in that situation. A good win, a needed win, and now a win you absolutely have to build on. You absolutely have to build on Tuesday night. What does that mean? Right now it means take the next 2 from the Blue Jays, then go on the road trip to Detroit, New York against the Mets and Tigers. Win the next 2 against the Blue Jays. Bayo and Cutter Crawford. We'll touch on the pitching matchups coming up in segment number 3. But win the next 2. Absolutely have to take the next 2 from the Blue Jays. Then it's a 3-4 homestand. Swept by the Diamondbacks. You lose 2 on Monday, but Monday suspended game. Everything goes back to June. All the stats. So there's a couple things that are interesting there. Because the Sox, again, were held to less than 10 hits. You could have put that in the current streak where they've been really the whole month of August. Couple of 10-plus hit games in there, but few and far between almost, it seems like. But what happens also, you put that loss before the All-Star break, there's 2 things. One, the Red Sox have officially not been at 500 at any point this season. First NESN reference, Dave O'Brien, Kevin Youkilis, sort of talking about the rest of this season and what the Red Sox have to do. I thought there was some interesting conversations sort of looking ahead. Not for the rest of this 24 season, but where are they next year? Where is Ceddanne Rafaela? It's a great question. I want no part of that question right now. I enjoyed the conversation between Dave and Uke, 2 guys I respect tremendously. But for me next year, my conclusion of that conversation is Ceddanne Rafaela has to find one position for 2025. And I don't think it's shortstop. I'm not sure it would be on the other side of the bag at second. Put him in center field. He's your center fielder. He's got the potential to be a Gold Glove award winner at 2 different positions. They show Trevor Story. Notice how we haven't had any Trevor Story updates on this homestand so far? What's that telling us? No news isn't necessarily good news here. If he was making progress to the point where maybe this weekend he's on a rehab assignment, but right now that seems to be very quiet with Trevor Story. But again, sort of projecting next year, how's this team going to improve defensively? How's this team going to play better and winning baseball at Fenway Park in 2025? A thing that has driven Red Sox fans crazy over the last couple of years. The nosedives, August or September is the last couple of years. Not playing, winning baseball at Fenway Park drives people crazy. Those things have to be improved upon from the very start of the 2025 season. Again, I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy Dave. I enjoy Uke in the booth. I have tremendous respect for both of them. I've really enjoyed Kevin Youkilis this year. I've enjoyed Lou Merlone too. I've enjoyed Kevin Millar because I do learn something from these guys. Millar goes off track every once in a while. That happens. That's what you expect with Kevin Millar. But Uke being in that booth, I really enjoy the one-on-one conversations. I really do, between Obi and Kevin Youkilis. But again, they were sort of projecting to the future, past 2024 on a couple of occasions. Still a lot of baseball to be played. We know that. There's a lot of cliches right now. The sprint to the finish for the Red Sox has been there for the last couple of weeks. The young guys have hit a wall. I'm glad Rafi Devers was out of the lineup. And you know what? They win without him. A full day off. Let's see what he does over the next couple of days at home at Fenway. Let's see what he does on the next homestand. Because the funks for Rafi Devers, again, the shoulder is an issue. We may find out at some point in October, hey, there's got to be surgery. All right, maybe that did it. We'll see. Might have been talking just to myself. Not sure yet. But Steve Lennox with you, Locked On Red Sox postcast. Not sure where that happened. Again, we've had some issues with microphones here the last couple of days. Hit a break. Going to go into At Bat of the Night. That's, for me, was sort of an easy one on a night where Red Sox have 2 big innings. We'll go into that. Moves, numbers of the night, all coming up. Red Sox win, much needed win at Fenway against the Blue Jays. All right, Locked On Red Sox postcast brought to you by FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to download America's #1 sportsbook app. Jarren Duran, -340 to collect a hit Tuesday night. He collected. Jarren Duran was +700 to collect 3 hits Tuesday night. Tyler O'Neill was plus 390 to hit a home run. That did not happen. Tristan Casas, I like this one. Tristan Casas was plus 900 to hit the Red Sox first home run of the game. And Vladdy Jr. was plus 430 to hit a home run. Red Sox future bets, Sox right now, according to FanDuel, plus 49,000 to win the AL pennant, plus 10,000 to win the World Series. Again, visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to download America's #1 sportsbook. All right, so hopefully we're continuing here, and I'm not on mute. We'll see how that continues here. Appreciate your patience. Again, if you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, hit us up in the comments section. Love our numbers of late as we continue to grow, and we appreciate our everydayers as well for making the Locked On Red Sox postcast their first listen every day. So this was an interesting one from X on Tuesday. Fox Sports MLB X page posting the record of all 30 big league clubs from the All-Star break through Monday's action. Red Sox, Rangers, Pirates all at 14 and 21 from the All-Star break through Monday. Marlins, Angels, White Sox, the only clubs with worse records during that stretch from the All-Star break through Monday's games. So the Red Sox pick up the victory. Now 15 and 21 since the All-Star break. This homestand, again, dealing with house money. Splitting the 4-game series in Baltimore, taking 2 of 3 in Houston against the Astros. Dropped the opener, won the next 2. Came home looking great, playing a red-hot Arizona Diamondbacks team. Just don't want to cool off. And the Diamondbacks' best record in baseball of the 30 clubs through Monday since the All-Star break. That just continues for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are just they're just playing winning baseball. It's what they're doing right now. So we'll get into the pitchers here in just a moment, and then our bat of the night as well. But Jarren Duran, the big day at the plate. Duran, get into his numbers a little bit because they're just impressive. Jarren Duran. See if I can find my sheet. Here we go. Jarren Duran, 5th career home run to lead off a game. 3rd this season, Tuesday night. 1-0, 3-0 after 1 for the Sox. Duran now 75 extra base hits. This isn't our numbers of the night segment. This is just Jarren Duran in the season he's having. And I'm going to use this one, I think, for the first time in a while, and maybe even for the first time since we got underway with our Locked On Red Sox postcast. 75 extra base hits now through the first 130 games played by Jarren Duran. He's got a 2020 season, 20 home runs, 32 stolen bases now. He's got 20 home runs. He leads the majors in doubles and triples. He's got the 32 bags. Jarren Duran did not have an extra base hit over his first 7 games back in March, April. Duran now 75 extra base hits on the season, had just 1 extra base hit through his first 12 games of the season. Again, Sox 9 hits, 3 in the first, 3 runs in the 5th inning, win 6-3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. So Cooper Criswell. Blue Jays had base runners all night long. I touched on the fact that the Blue Jays had Vlad Guerrero cut down at second in the first inning, had 2 different hitters or 2 different base runners at third cut down at the plate as well. Criswell went 3 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 3 walks. And his line, really, it could have been different. He had all sorts of traffic over 3+ innings. But he got helped out by the defense. Greg Weissert, first out of the pen. Inning and a third scoreless. Gave up a couple of hits, walked no one, struck out no one. Brendan Bernardino, leadoff single. Clement, 6-4-3 double play. That was the double play that I was alluding to. That Ceddanne Rafaela started in the 7th inning. And then Bernardino giving up a solo home run to Will Wagner, who had a night at the plate with a couple of doubles in his first big league home run. You may have heard Dave O'Brien and Kevin Youkilis talked about it. Will Wagner, son of former big league pitcher and former Red Sox pitcher Billy Wagner. Chris Martin, the only 1-2-3 clean inning for the Red Sox Tuesday night. Martin in the 8th inning, retired the starting order. Then Kenley got the 9th inning. Non-save situation at that point in a 6-2 ball game. 6-3 the final. Jansen gives up the home run to Varsho. All right, that's it. Sox pitchers got the final 17 outs. I'll give you a Sox reliever core number here coming up in our third segment as well. That'll be part of our numbers tonight. No, I'm throwing a lot of numbers out there for you, but the numbers for Jarren Duran, team MVP, absolutely, that's locked up. And I said sort of when we got this going, homestand against the Phillies and Yankees in June with the Locked On Red Sox postcast. And I thought, can Jarren Duran get to 70 extra base hits? Now, 80 is certainly available for Jarren Duran. Can you get to 90? I think 85. I mean, 10 more extra base hits in the final, 30 games of the regular season? Hey, again, we remind you, if you're part of the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, if you're with us live, hit the comment button, join the Sox conversation. Love to have you on board. Numbers continue to grow with our YouTube channel and going live each within a couple of minutes of each and every Red Sox game. Apologize for missing Monday. Had a little technical difficulty with the microphone tonight. Didn't have any microphone working on Monday. Mention that for a final time. Red Sox pick up the victory. At bat of the night, after the first inning, I felt I had the at bat of the night. Not Duran's home run. I'm going Masa Yoshida. Because there's a point I want to make with Masa Yoshida here. Yoshida had the 2-out base hit. And I talked recently about Yoshida. And I didn't look up the numbers on Baseball Reference today, but I'm going to do it before Wednesday's game against the Blue Jays. What he's hitting with 2 outs. How many RBIs he has this season with 2 outs. Masa Yoshida, 2-out RBI single, 2-out 2-run single in the first inning to make it 3-0. That's my at-bat of the night for Masa. Now, Monday with the suspended game, during the day Monday, I was listening to Will Fleming and Lou Merloni on the Red Sox flagship station, WEEI, when I was in my car. And they were talking about Rafi Devers. And again, he was out of the lineup on Tuesday. You hope he's back in there on Wednesday. He was out Tuesday. You hope he's back in there Wednesday. I would think so. And it might be that he's in the lineup every single day the rest of the way out. There are a couple of more off days in the schedule. The next one is not until a week from this Thursday, when the Sox get home from the road trip through Detroit and New York against the Tigers and the Mets. That gets underway on Friday. But Lou Merloni brought it up of, Masa Yoshida is the left-handed batter and a right-handed starter on the mound. Yoshida is your left-handed DH. They're just, I guess right now, I don't know if this is a thing for the future, but I don't want in 2025 Masa Yoshida being the only left-handed DH available. Maybe you've got to see if he can get back in the outfield mix. And it's going to be harder next year. It really is. Because if you're putting Ceddanne Rafaela in center field every day, you've got Duran in left and you've got Wilyer Abreu in right. But for me, if you want to get Devers off his feet and give him a day or two at the DH spot, isn't that a no-brainer over Masa Yoshida? And I've come around on Yoshida, and I know he's gotten clutch hits. I know he's hit well. Didn't come back strong necessarily after the injury, after the stint on the injured list. But if Rafi Devers needs a spot where, hey, you want his bat in the lineup, but you're going to take him off of third base for a game, you're putting him there in that DH role before you are Masa Yoshida, yes? Lou Merloni brought it up on Monday of just, as a matter of fact, if you're not going to take Masa out of the DH spot, in order to give Devers a day off from throwing across the diamond, get him off his feet, give him his 3 or 4 at-bats. And I think Devers, if I remember right, he's not a guy who likes the DH, but give him a half a day off where he's not in the field. You give him that DH spot over Masa Yoshida? I would. One over the pitchers. Relievers got 17 outs. At bat of the night goes to Masa Yoshida. We're going to hit on the more moves that the Red Sox made. And all of a sudden, and this is one of those things that I absolutely despise and hate, the instant reaction. I'm going to tell you what that is and explain that when we continue. Glad you're with us. We're talking about a Red Sox victory at Fenway against the Toronto Blue Jays on our latest edition of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. Sponsored by Supply House. Get supplies from the site
that is made for the skilled trade, supplyhouse.com. At supplyhouse.com, you get a reliable way to order your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online every time. Their easy-to-use website packed with helpful resources and the latest project information to help you get the job done and get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. Get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business. Talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on orders. Join the thousands of the trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just few clicks at supplyhouse.com. All right, numbers of the night coming up in just a moment. Moving back, I've got to stay close to the microphone. So yeah, I'm right up in your face today. Intense with a 6-3 victory for the Sox. For that, I do apologize. More roster moves. So as soon as preseason, spring training or preseason starts for the NFL or NBA, we've got to get immediate grades, right? We've got to grade something. So editors were telling their writers and their broadcasters, give me a grade on the Red Sox deals at the trade deadline. Well, at that point in time, the grade was incomplete. But now, with Lucas Sims going on the injured list on Tuesday with a lat strain and Luis Garcia going on the injured list with elbow inflammation, it's more looking less and less like an incomplete, and it's more looking like a D minus for the Red Sox and Craig Breslow at the trade deadline. James Paxton, DFA'd by the Dodgers. You pick him up on a trade. You pick up Lucas Sims for minor leaguers from the Cincinnati Reds. You send 4 minor leaguers to the Angels for Luis Garcia. Sims has given you a couple of good outings. I've said it sarcastically, tongue-in-cheek. Lucas Sims owes Tanner Houck something because on 2 different occasions in recent weeks, Tanner Houck has departed from the game, and then Lucas Sims has given up the lead, and Houck has ended up with a no decision. And pretty much the Red Sox have ended up with losses in those outings. Garcia, I think he had a rough one from the jump. His first appearance wasn't a great one. But they're both lost. Think of Slayton. Think of Chris Martin. Elbow inflammation. They missed time. Garcia, elbow inflammation. Is he going to be available in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? I don't know. Are you going to want him back and be available? The trust factor is not going to be very high. And Sims, I like him. He attacks. Leaves too many pitches out over the plate, but he's dealing with a lat strain. Nobody said, hey, he might be eligible to come off as soon as, when his stint on the injured list, that wasn't bandied about there on Tuesday. So these guys may very well both be gone through the rest of the season. We know Paxton added to the 60-day IL, the injured list. So Rich Hill added to the 40-man roster, added to the active roster. Thought Criswell Hill, but that wasn't the case. Maybe it's Criswell with Brian Bayo or Cutter Crawford over the next couple of days. Brad Keller designated for assignment. I believe for the second time this year, the first time Keller wanted to see what was out there, no one else was willing to make an offer, at least with a big league contract. Ended up back at AAA Worcester, back in the big leagues, designated again. I don't think you'll see Brad Keller at the big league level with the Red Sox again through the final handful of weeks of the regular season. I'm going to go out on a limb there. The move that the Red Sox also made, Weissert, Winkowski, these guys are up and down. From Pawtucket to Boston, Rhode Island to Boston for many, many years, AAA level, not a bad drive. From Worcester to Boston, not a horrible drive. Maybe as you approach Boston, it gets a little dicey. We know that. But these are the guys. Sims, Paxton, Garcia. looking like none of the three added prior to the deadline or at the deadline, with Sims and Garcia going to contribute down the stretch, final days of August and into September. So those are the guys you're added, and they're all on the IL with, 30 games to go in the regular season. That really changes any grade you or anyone else gave the Red Sox at the deadline. And it went from, okay, mixed reaction, mixed bag, so-so deadline to that can't happen again in 2025. It can't. You have to, next year, mid-July, end of July, you have to have an idea of what you need for the final stretch run of the final 2 months of the regular season after that deadline passes. But I'll tell you this. The Red Sox are not alone in taking flyers on guys. I don't know where Honeywell ended up. Remember, Honeywell pitched for the Dodgers, had that screwball working, and they DFA'd him. I'm not sure where he is in the process, but that might be a guy you take a flyer on. But look at the transactions. Go back a week, 2 weeks, go back a month, and just look at the transactions. DFA, picked up by somebody. Michael Tonkin, I believe. I think I have the name right. DFA'd by look at his transactions for 2024. I think he was with the Mets twice, Yankees. I think he might now be with the Twins for a second time. Every team is scrambling, just trying to hit on a reliever that they can add. They may want to hit on a guy that's already been with 2 or 3 different teams during the course of the year. And if you're Brad Keller, teams are desperate for relievers. Does he get a offer on a big league deal? I don't know. He might have to go sit in AAA somewhere. I don't know that he would continue with the Red Sox organization and again go down to Worcester, because I don't know that that's going to help you. I'm going out on a limb saying right now, and was completely prepared to say it on Monday. Again, technical difficulties, unable to hit, unable to post. But Priester and Fitz sitting at AAA, Priester's on the 40-man. If it's going to continue to go south here in the next week plus, I want to see at least Priester in the big leagues here. I want to see him right now. I really do. He's in a rough outing, his first one, but then he went from there. Numbers of the night. I did give you plenty of numbers on Jarren Duran, and they're all impressive. Numbers of the night, 0. 17 and 0. Red Sox relievers got the final 17 outs of the ball game. Bernardino gave up a solo home run. Kenley Jansen gave up a solo home run in the 9th inning of Varsho, but 0 walks allowed by the bullpen. Thank you. Thank you. Because the walk totals over the last handful of games, 4, 5 plus, can't happen. Just cannot happen. So 0 walks from the relievers, and 17 outs from Weiser, Bernardino, Martin, and Kenley Jansen. Red Sox, again, striking out way too much. I don't even know what the final number was. I remember hearing as I was leaving the bedroom, watching the late innings, Dave O'Brien said, and the Red Sox, 3 hitters here in the, 9 strikeouts. Did not strike out 10 times. Tyler O'Neill, 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. Note to Tyler O'Neill, it's time to start hitting. It really is. And I just don't want to see a 1 for 4 with a solo home run in the 8th inning to make it a 7-3 ball game. Either way. Tyler O'Neill's got to start hitting for this team. There are certain things that need to start hitting for the Red Sox. 10 or more hits, 5 or more runs. Those are keys to success. Errorless baseball, keys to success. Few walks, limit the walks, key to success. So I did do the math. The Red Sox, get to this here for a moment. Red Sox the win. Celebrate that one and move on to Wednesday. But the Red Sox now 30 and 37 at home. Did the math easy enough. 2 left with the Jays next homestand, the White Sox for 3, and the Orioles for 3. Then the Twins for 3, and then you wrap up the regular season with 3 against the Tampa Bay Rays at the end of September. The Red Sox, again, 30 and 37 at home. Now 7 games under 500. You need to go 11 and 3 the rest of the way just to finish above 500 at home this year. And you may need to go 11 and 3 or 10 and 4 the rest of the way at Fenway to be competitive when the Twins come to town in September. Look ahead. Not a lot of numbers. Going to wrap up here. Bello, Bassett, the pitching matchup on Wednesday. Prior to the deadline, if you were with us on the Locked On Red Sox Sports Boston YouTube channel or the Locked On Red Sox Postcast YouTube feed, you know that I was on Bassett. I really am shocked that Bassett's making a start Wednesday for the Blue Jays at Fenway against the Red Sox. I think he could have gotten a nice haul for the Blue Jays. Instead, he makes a start against Bello. Bello needs to go out there and give you 6. Don't give 4 strong innings and then falter in the 5th or 6th inning. Don't have Alex Cora come out to the mound and remove you from the game. Have Alex Cora, after you've recorded the final out of an inning, shake your hand and say, job well done. If it's 5, I'll be okay with it. If it's 6 on Wednesday, I'll be ecstatic. Bowden Francis lost a no-hit bid late in his last outing against the Angels in Toronto. He'll go up against Cutter Crawford in the finale on Thursday, and then it's off the Detroit weekend series against the Tigers, and then in New York against the Mets for a series on the upcoming road trip. We do thank our sponsors as we get out of here, FanDuel and Supply House. Our Locked On Red Sox postcast feed, our postcast does follow each and every Red Sox game all season long. We do thank you for making Locked On Red Sox and the Locked On Red Sox postcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Also live with the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel after each and every Red Sox game from here on out. Locked On Sports Boston, the number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team every day.